It's an understatement to say that I'm obsessed with Monster Hunter Wilds. Woo! I'm just feasting. No! I almost got through it! What? Like I didn't direct my... Poogie! Hello, Poogie! He was What the heck is he doing? But there's this one debate that I keep seeing get tossed around within the community, and no, it's not whether the game is too easy or not. Surprisingly, it's a topic that revolves around the story, something that you wouldn't expect coming from a Monster Hunter game. Most people don't pay attention to the story to begin with. After all, what players want to do when jumping into a Monster Hunter game is to whack some monsters to get some new pretty boots. But there's a certain character that seems to have garnered the ire of a big portion of the player base. When there is a child character in a show or a video game, it's a massive coin flip whether people find them endearing or absolutely aggravating. While some can have a soft spot for them, most of the time people don't want to deal with a whiny crybaby, myself included. So, when Nata was introduced in Wilds, I already had a bad feeling about him. And it didn't help that I had already seen people's complaints about him flying around prior to playing myself, but when I finally got into the meat of the game, he was... actually... fine. I'd even go as far as to say that he's actually a good character. But before we get any further, I want to say that this video will contain heavy spoilers, so if you haven't finished the main story yet, I suggest going through it yourself and coming back when you're done. Now, when you first meet Nata, you don't know much about him. You know that he was separated from his village from the attack of Arkveld through the intro of the game, and you're tasked with reuniting him with his people. But other than that, he tends to keep to himself, though it's not in any annoying or moody way. He's respectful. He helps out when he can, and listens to both you and Alma. He appreciates that you're helping him and wants to do all that he can to return the favor. For a kid who doesn't know the fate of his family and is forced into an unfamiliar world, he's adjusting rather well. However, what seems to be the main problem people have with Nata is the response he had when seeing Arkveld for the first time since the attack of his village. Up until that point, he has kept his anger, fear, and sadness bottled up for the sake of not getting in anyone's way. But the moment he locked eyes with Arkveld, it all finally boiled over. With responses rooted from emotion or trauma, there's little logic that goes into one's actions, and the very same could be applied with Nata. From his point of view, this was the monster that took him away from his people, the monster that potentially killed them, and the monster that ruined his life. With all of this swirling in his head, the only thing he wants is to see it dead. But he's just a kid. He doesn't know anything about the vast world he's in, and he's never held a weapon before in his life. And that's what frustrates him the most. What most people seem to have taken offense of is how he calls the hunter out for not attacking Arkveld, and I can understand that. I was annoyed when it happened too. But despite his words being directed to the hunter, it's rather him projecting his feelings he has about himself onto you. Compared to the people around him, Olivia, Gemma, Alma, and especially you, he feels inadequate. You are able to accomplish so many things without any trouble at all while he can't even retrace his steps back to his village. He wants to feel useful, to help everyone, to make a change. Strong, brave, dependable, just like you. But in his eyes, he isn't. Being put in a situation like that can send anyone spiraling, and in that moment, he doesn't care if he gets killed by Arkveld. He just wants to accomplish something. But despite all of that, he still feels guilty from his outburst. He knows that his response to the hunter and everyone else was unfairly directed at them, so he apologizes not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. And I think that's the most important part that most people forget. Often do I see people calling him ungrateful or a brat, but really he's just someone who tries to solve all his problems on his own to avoid getting in others' ways, and unfortunately, when it all becomes too much, it comes pouring out in a negative way. However, he finally gets a chance to take matters into his own hands when he reunites with his people and learns the truth behind Arkveld and the Guardians. Now knowing his ancestors forcibly turned the Guardians into their personal slaves, Nata feels that it is his duty to finally do right by Arkveld, despite everything it has done to him. He is able to let go of his rage, and pushes forward to truly understanding what is going on with it, and this seems to be another thing that people have criticized him for. After his outburst against Arkveld, Nata grows a strong protection over it, but I think this is just as reasonable as before. Nata absolutely condemns the creations his ancestors made, playing the acting god with innocent creatures, no matter how destructive they naturally were. While it caused him great turmoil and pain, Nata would have never seen the beauty of the world if not for Arkveld's attack on his village. He would have never developed his love and awe for everything around him, and he would have never been broken out of the cycle casted on him by his ancestors. Both of them have been chained to the sins his forefathers have committed, but Arkveld was able to release him from these confines, and Nata wants to return the favor. Even when Arkveld is shown decimating the ecosystem, Nata feels as though he's responsible for it. And I think him wanting to prevent the hunt of Arkveld is a unique perspective that you don't often see in Monster Hunter. It's a common trend for flagships of the game to initially be seen as the main threat until it's revealed to be an even stronger monster. But you don't really get the chance to dwell on it, as you get celebrated for your success, regardless of hunting down a monster that was just a bystander in the grand scheme of things. And I could relate to Nata in this situation, because back when I played Rise, I didn't want to hunt down Magnamalo because, he's just my little guy. But that's what makes a hunter a hunter. It is your sworn duty to protect the natural flow of the ecosystem. If a monster poses any threat to the ways of life, it's up to you to stop it. And that's what Nata comes to learn from watching you. Even after you hunt down Arkveld, he isn't angry or sad. It's unfortunate how it all came to be, but it was the right choice to make. And that's a choice that can only be made by a hunter. That's what truly breaks him free from the chains that bind him to his forefathers. Even with Arkveld, Nata feels that it is his sworn duty to resolve the issue of the Guardians because of his title as a keeper, something that he's been locked into due to his bloodline. This is especially true when it comes to his pendant, which is passed down to him by his father, and is revealed to be the key to solving the problem with the Dragon Torch. He is forced to pick just one of two options, to use it or not. All the people around him debate on what he should do, but in the end, he decides to end it all, as it is his birthright to do so. But the hunter is able to show him that that isn't the only solution by offering to hunt Xochitl. A true hunter always steps up to the task, even if the odds are 1 in a million, to take a chance on the smallest miracles in order to give birth to the best outcome for all, to take fate into your own hands. Some may think that this moment took away from Nata's choice and thus rendered his character useless, but I think it stands as a great lesson for him to really reflect and develop into his own person. Whatever he decided to do, to use his pendant or not, it wouldn't have been the one that he truly would have chosen, but he didn't have the power to make it, and so he returned back to his roots and followed what his people expected from him. But the hunter showed him that it is possible, and that's what really cements him on his path that he wants the most, to become a hunter as strong and brave as you. In the end, he is able to take these first steps towards his new goal, dressing in the leather set that beginner hunters wear and following your lead to learn as your apprentice. He takes initiative on researching Arkveld's behavior on his own, and even when he's faced with the same exact situation as his first outburst, he is able to think it through properly and come to the conclusion that Arkveld must be hunted down for the greater good. Nata's entire journey is breaking free from the expectations placed upon him and carve his own path. Of course, it doesn't come without bumps in the road, but he is able to learn from his mistakes and grow into his own person. There's still so much of Wilds left to be seen, so we'll see where else Nata's story takes us. But I think it's been a touching one so far. And what I think is the best part is that you, the hunter, were able to take part in all of it. Instead of being the new and upcoming hunter of each Monster Hunter game, you are instead in the position of helping the newbie hunter through Nata. It's not the deepest or most amazing story, but I think it's still pretty sweet. But that being said, Rove is the best character in the game, hands down. If Rove has 1,000 fans, I'm one of them. If Rove has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If Rove has 1 fan, I'm that fan. And if Rove has 0 fans, I'm no longer of this world. Thank you for watching. This topic has been on my mind ever since I finished the story for Wilds, and I felt like I really needed to defend Nata because poor kid was getting demolished on the internet. But whether I was able to convince you or you're staying firm on your opinion of him, I still appreciate you watching until the very end. I'll be continuing to make more videos like this, so if you enjoyed, it'd be a great help if you could give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would also like to give a special thanks to the members of the channel who make this all possible. I wouldn't have been able to make it this far without you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I would like to give one final thanks to all those who have recently subscribed. We finally made that 1,000 subscriber milestone, and I'm still in awe, but I can't be any more grateful, and we're only going up from here on out.